Some floral pattern play that turns into an end of summer meadow? Yes, please. It's time for the September plan with me. Hey friends, welcome back. This is the September plan with me, and my name is Shayda Campbell. I haven't done a lot of journaling over the summer, but I'm back at it as autumn approaches. I always have that back to school vibe, even though I haven't gone back to school in ages. And I have a brand new notebook, thanks to Archer and Olive, and I also have one to give away, so stick around to hear more about that. So let's open up this beautiful brand new notebook. I love that it's pink. There's just something about autumn and new notebooks and fresh pencils and all of that good stuff. So open up your journal, even if you're not starting a new one, get a nice fresh page, and we are going to continue with the 2024 theme, which is pattern play. And I love pattern play because you can take simple drawings, doodles even, and turn them into something really powerful and impactful. Before we get into that, just a reminder that my cover page will be available to all patrons. It's a coloring page, so you can color it in yourself. Just download that today over on Patreon. It's just $3 to become a member, only $3 a month. I try to keep it really inexpensive, and stick around to the end of the video for more giveaway info. Okay, let's jump in. We're going to start by drawing a rectangle right in the center of the page, and you can just do that part in pencil. And from there, we can start using our markers. Now, I'm using mostly Tombows, a couple Copics, and I will have the whole color list if you want the exact colors. That's available on Patreon, but it's free. Anyone can go get it. You just need to become like a free member. So what we're going to do is take your lightest green. You'll need 3 different colors of green. You're going to take the lightest one, and you are going to start drawing really, really messy flowers. Make them large towards the bottom of that rectangle, and make them a little bit smaller as you go up towards the top. You're not going to go right up to the top of the page. Just do what I'm doing, where it's like large, medium, then small, and lots of space up at the top. From there, we're taking the same light green, just your lightest green, and we're going to fill in all around those flowers. And the nice thing is the flowers are quite messy. They're not too precious or perfect. So if you draw onto them when you're doing this, it doesn't matter. They should be a little weird and messy and whimsical and playful. All of my favorite adjectives. So I would love to know in the comments, do you journal a lot in the summertime? Because for me, I just end up being away for a week here and a week there, and I just get out of the habit, and I don't have as much going on work-wise. So yeah, I kind of leave it a bit, and then I always come back to it in the fall. Would love to hear about your journaling habits in the comments below. Okay, here's what you're going to need next. We need 2 darker greens and then a dark color like a blue or purple. I'm not going to use both. I'm going to use one or the other. And what we want to do is make this look like a meadow of flowers. It's a bit silly. You know, we're creating kind of a fun meadow pattern, so it's very playful. And I'm taking the medium green at this point, and I'm just putting grass, little thin vertical brush strokes, and they get smaller as I go up that rectangle, just like the flowers. Larger grass at the base, smaller up towards the top, and then we'll grab the darkest green, the 3rd color of green, and we can continue doing grass, and you can also put in some leaf shapes. So if you want to kind of do a few leaves around the flowers, we just want to give the look of this. We're creating a pattern that is also a drawing. It's also a meadow. So we're building up different color and pattern and creating, an illustration at the same time. Some of the drawings we do are just patterns. They don't really make anything, but this one will become a pretty floral meadow. So now I'm going in with a medium green Copic and doing some leaves. You can continue to do this with the Tombows. I just like the way the Copics will stand out. So it's almost like having 5 different greens, even though the colors are very, very similar. And you can see me doing some leafy shapes, which are really just a messy brush stroke. And then I'm going to take a dark yellow. This is like a green gold, I think is the name of the color, something like that. And we're going to put a center on those flowers. And then from there, we're going to do like some very messy purple dots, basically. And you could use dark blue or dark red, whatever, just something that's going to stand out on the green. And again, I'm doing these clusters of messy brush strokes, and they're very small at the top up there and very large at the bottom. Not very large, but larger at the bottom. Finally, I'm taking my medium green and doing a little bit of grass to mark the top of the meadow. Then I want to put in a horizon line line, a mountainous or hilly horizon line. Did it in pencil first just to make sure I like it, and then I'm going in with a light gray marker. And I think that looks really good, and it really gives us, the sense that this is this meadow and there's mountains back there. And then you can do the sky any color. I'm going to do a really, really light pink, and there's just something about this warm landscape that's really saying September and end of summer to me, so I'm into it. Then if you're doing pink, take a slightly darker pink and make some messy, fluffy clouds. This is really just like dots of the marker, messy brush marks. And then I'm just looking at my meadow, is asking myself, what do I need more of? A little bit more messy pattern, more leaf shapes, more grass, and I really want the grass to pop off the perimeter of that rectangle. So doing a bit of that. And from there, we are going to use a paint pen or a white gel pen. This step is optional. I didn't think this was like my most successful part of this illustration, but I thought it would be fun to take a white gel pen, or in my case, I'm using the Sakura Pen Touch marker. All supplies are linked in the video description, and you can see what I'm doing, just adding a few little dots up at the very top of the meadow to make it look like there are still flowers up there. You just can't see them. And I mean, this drawing is very, very silly and whimsical, so I don't think it desperately needs that, but it's kind of fun. And from there, again, just looking around, do I want to fix any of these flower shapes? Do I want to add a few more leaves, grass, whatever? Play around, have fun. I decided to darken my clouds ever so slightly. I darkened up the mountains, which I actually didn't like. It was better when it was lighter. And then I took my purple and just did some messy dots and brush marks, kind of to give the impression of maybe some trees back there. I'm not too sure, but I think it looks pretty, and I'm really happy with this. At this point, when your pattern is done and there's lots of grass and flowers, we are simply going to put the September title right in the top middle of the sky. I find it helpful to mark the two sides of the word, like the word will start 4 squares in and end 4 squares from the other side. And then I just lay the letters out as symmetrically or as balanced as possible, go over it in pen, and it looks so cute. Simple print and a really fun pattern, floral pattern, which we always love, that becomes this lovely end of summer autumn meadow. I'm really happy with the way this turned out, and I hope you'll give it a chance. Remember, if you're a patron, you can go grab that as a coloring page, or you can become a patron because it's only $3 a month. All right, flipping the page, we are going to create a nice weekly layout, and I am sticking with a weekly layout that I've come to really love and rely on over the last year, and that is a double weekly layout with the Dutch door right in the middle for decorative purposes, but the back of the Dutch door is really good for like keeping extra lists, to-do lists and stuff like that, grocery lists even. So what I do is I keep the Dutch door right in the center, and then you're going to draw a grid on both sides. You've got a 6-day week, so 1 square for the weekend, and then on the Dutch door, you can simply do a bit more pattern play. It's a great little spot right in the center for having some pattern. And what I'm doing here is just playing with some of those warm colors that we used in the meadow pattern. I'm going to go away from the green and just focus on the kind of grays and pinks and purples. And so what I do is I'll just create some shapes. Like in this case, it's an oval, and then I put some little lines on the oval, and it makes almost kind of like a clover. And then we're going to do the most basic flower, like a very, very simple, silly flower, and put a center on it. Then I'm doing kind of a sunflower. My point being, it's all very messy and wild, and I love building patterns in this way because sometimes they start to look a little weird or messy, and you kind of have to keep working and bring it back around. So I layered some darker yellow on the sunflower. Then I was like, everything just looks too light, so I grabbed a cherry red, and I started doing some berry shapes, like very messy, very free. This Dutch door probably took me 10 minutes, definitely no more. And you're always looking, where can I fit another sunflower? Where can I fit another something else? At this point, I was like, it still needs more contrast. So let's grab a blue, like a periwinkle blue, and just do some dots. It doesn't all have to be objective, doesn't have to be florals. It can just be dots, stripes, polka dots, whatever. put the date in there, and then I used a fine liner to just add some little U shapes on the center of those sunflowers, and that is my pattern. Looking so cute. I love this weekly layout because it allows me to set up for half the month in one time, in one sitting. And you can definitely see that my plan with me's, my journal, has gotten more simple. I don't do a calendar page anymore. It's just not totally necessary. I have fun doing a cover page, so that's why I do it. I love that. And then I just get right into my weekly layouts. And basically at this point, my journal is a place where I keep to-do lists. Like everything I need to do on that Monday, I will, write down. I also started in August because I'm like back to work, but it's still August. So that's my journal all set up. If you would like the cover page, head over to Patreon. And if you would like to win your own journal, all you have to do is like this video, make sure you're subscribed, and leave a comment below telling me something about your journaling practice. Thanks for watching, guys, and I can't wait to see you next week for a new tutorial.